start? Yes. So, I'm going to start the show. I'm going to start my presentation. So, welcome everybody. Welcome to NDC London. It's great to be here again. I love NDC London. And today we are going to ask the question, can generative AI make the world disability inclusive? I am Dennie Declercq, Mr. Dreaming as Believing, Microsoft MVP and AI, and also developer technologies for a longer time, only 1 year in AI. You can go to our website, where.ddsoft.be, because this is the software part. So the content will be, I will introduce you to disability inclusion, and we are going to talk about difficulties people with disabilities might have. And then we're going to have a look, how can GenAI help, for example, reading, writing, understanding, daily life, professional life, and societal life. And also maybe can GenAI be used to make the world more inclusive via supporting professionals. But first of all, before we can all do all that stuff, we need to talk about disability inclusion. And I'm in the accessibility scene for a very long time. I used to work, and still work there, as a side project. DDSoft was my side project, but now the other project is my side project. In a care center and a coaching center in Ostend, where they are coaching people with even severe intellectual disabilities. So people who can't read, they see but they can't read due to cognitive dysfunctioning. And I started there in 2012, and that made me excited about what can software do for those causes. And then I did all the rest on accessibility. So the first question is, what is disability inclusion? And to answer the question what disability inclusion is, maybe you need to first start to answer the question, what is inclusion in general? And inclusion means that all people are able and belong to the society, the workplace, the shops, the communities. And that is regardless of their gender, religion, ethnic background, social identity, and disabilities. And disability inclusion is, if you are talking about inclusion, specific for people with disabilities. Acknowledging inclusion is a broad term, but if you really specify the things, the actions to do to include people with disabilities in the society. And the sad thing is, there's a very, I call it a little tragedy. Inclusion in the world started about the year 2000, and it was all about people with disabilities. Then it started to include all other people like gender, ethnicity, sexuality, and I love it. I love including them. I love it. But what I love a little bit less is all the other groups make the big progression, and a lot of time we forget disability inclusion again. We seeing people talk about inclusion, but they are making systems that some people with disabilities can't use. Is it inclusion? Yeah, that's the question. So I want to bring back disability inclusion because they are too much forgotten. And we need to know that disability is a spectrum. And there are loads of frameworks to talk about. I'm using that one as an adjustment of the Microsoft disability spectrum. It's an adjustment, my way of interpreting it for that talk. And we are talking about the difficulties people will have and how it manifests on which time. So it can be permanent, temporary, or situational. So let's talk about the difficulty. Reading can be blindness, but also an eye infection, aging. So it is permanent, temporary, and situational. What I really love in the spectrum is we are going to more and more, I interpret it as normalizing or even humanizing disability. Like saying that a new parent, we never see normally a new parent as being disabled, but if you need to use a device with 2 hands, it only works with 2 hands, and you have your baby on your arm, on that situation, you can't use a system as you need to do if you need to use 2 hands. But also, if you're saying, do a new job as a person without a disability, the very, very first days, there's a mismatch between what you're able to do and to like your coworkers. You need to learn more. You need to learn more about the ethics in the company, the ethics and also the organizational structure. So in that pace, you have a disability comparing to the other employees. So I really like that thing. Next to that, we need to admit and we need to accept the fact that there are also lots of hidden and unknown disabilities. So these are people with disabilities being undiagnosed. So that can be for some reason. Maybe you are born as a person with autism, but you don't know because you don't have the diagnosis. They didn't research it if you have it, because your dad has, or parents, or mother has a own company, own firm, and they know, let's say you are a little bit special, a little bit more rigid, you need a little bit more instructions, but because it's a family company, it's all okay, everything works, they give you your money, your wage, everything is perfect, but then the company of your parents stops, you need to look for another job, and you are seeing things that not working so good as you think. And otherwise, people, also that's one of the extremes. The other thing is our society is demanding more and more and more from the people. So maybe this also can be a reason that there is a hidden disability, making it more difficult for you than for some of your coworkers. And then you can be diagnosed, for example, with burnout or a severe depression. The underlying can be that you needed to give way more of your own energy resources to do the same thing. So those are there too. So we know the stuff. I talked about a little bit about disability inclusion. Now let's talk about what we can do with GenAI. And as I promised, we will start with reading. So it can do vision, so summarization and speech synthesis. So this can be with an analyzed text, summarize, do additional research, and read something aloud. And this can even be, and that's a very interesting thing, even on physical things, you can iterate with AI. What I did here as a demo, I'm not comfortable sharing my device screen. I don't know how it works at this time. But we will do a similar thing in a minute. But here it was really just my mobile phone. I took a picture of a physical packet leaflet from some drugs, some painkillers. Took the picture and I talked to it. It's amazing what it could say to me. It was with voice, so I could ask the minimum dosage, the maximum, maybe side effects, and it was talking to me. The thing is, with physical packet leaflets, a lot of time the font is very, very small. So even for a lot of people, it's difficult or hard to see. How many people think about it? I can take my device, I can picture the paper, and have a conversation with it. It's crazy if you think about it. Communicating with physical paper. We are in those times. As I said, it's not really easy to do that at this time with my mobile device, but I promise you to have a substitute for that. And so I need to share my screen. And for my substitute, I will just say the conversation will be in English. Because I'm from Belgium, my native Dutch speaking, and it's more helpful in general that I also can work with my own language. But for now, we are okay. I will look for in my downloads paracetamol online, and I will open it. It's okay that I work, and I say, I just put it to. It's already saying some basics about medicine. I can read it aloud. I will read it aloud later on. But I can ask questions about it. So I will ask, what are the side effects? And I can also ask, can I drink and then I can read it aloud.
How long should I wait after taking it to drink?
No, I want to read this aloud.
It's generally advised to avoid drinking alcohol while taking paracetamol tava. Here are some key points to consider.
So here, if you cannot be able to see it, you are really talking or doing work with augmented generation on the physical paper, or here I uploaded the PDF document of that kind of leaflet package information. So here you can say that GenAI makes it easier for people who have difficulties with reading that paper for various reasons. Did you like it? Did you know this is possible? Awesome. So the next chapter is GenAI for writing. And you can do that with some ways. You can do it with Microsoft 365 Copilot. But to be honest, that tool is not cheap. It's not affordable for everybody at that moment. I hope prices will drop. But I'm a developer. I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. And I have GitHub Copilot. It's for coding. It's for writing C# or Python. But I was thinking, Markdown is in fact it's code. It's Markdown code. I can write everything in Markdown with Copilot. And I started working on it. So I had my Visual Studio Code. I started with some repos, private or public. I just enable Copilot. And I can write lots of stuff with it. Oh, the one thing. What can go wrong? I said I need to sacrifice the demagogue, so I was waking. So here I have just GitHub Copilot. There are lots of things that you can here do with Copilot, but also let's start with inline writing. I have some folders. I have the Dutch and the English. We will do it in English to start with. And GitHub Copilot is enabled in this. So I will start with the heading 1. It will take some time. It will help me on. Okay, I can tap here. So I type. I'm in control. I will not do to ChatGPT ask to write me a report about that conference. I'm doing everything. It just will help me. A use case here, by example, is if you have dyslexia. People who are dyslexic don't have problems with their intelligence. So those people, a lot of time, are very, very smart, crazy smart people, but they have problems with making their grammar and their spell check. So there's a difference between their capacity in their brain and the way to writing it down. A lot of time, for example, as those people writing a resume, it can become over as unprofessional due to the grammar stuff. If they can write their experience, their stuff, their ideas, just with, let's say, writing existence, writing, not existence, help, assistance, it's not the same as, it's not unauthentical, like just asking to ChatGPT to write the resume, but takes really their control, their way of making it, but with lots of spelling and grammar assistance. So I will not start with the introduction because I'm in charge. I will not do what they say. Why should I? I will talk about the keynote. Now, it wasn't the future of software development. It was, I will trust something. I will go here to Copilot. So we push the wrong thing. I will ask, I don't know if you know it. No, I don't know if it's going to connect to the internet. It should be. He can't. It's okay. It was AI, something AI. AI without PS for humans. Okay. The speaker was not Dr. John Doe. Oh my God. It was Scott Hanselman. And this very inspiring keynote. Learn this how to use AI to make the world a better place. Beside this of this, he also noted AI is not a silver bullet, and that we should be aware of the risks. He is more fan of WAC than RGB. Oh my God, because it's more human. So this is its hallucination is just generating BS. This call we BS, but we shouldn't say hallucination, but sometimes you use a word and you keep using it. It's more fun of BS than only LLM spitting out, I will not say answer, BS. So I was in control, I write everything, and did it really save me time if I write a blog in that way? No. But why do I use it? I am not a native English speaker. And even that I'm not dyslexic, writing English and the concentration and my own energy and memory consumption, it's a lot of thinking. And this will, at the end, will look more professional. And then if you look at it to people with dyslexia even, that's way more important. It will maybe not always save time, but it will look more professional, so they will have more opportunities and career opportunities. But we can also use GenAI for understanding, as I said. You can ask, especially if you are using tools like the demo will be in Microsoft 365 or Microsoft Copilot, how they name things, it changes a lot. We are so working on the internet and asking more clarification. For example, who, what, why, when, and how. But even more, you can ask for deliberative reasoning, events, rules, regulations, and you can make it easier or harder to understand by asking to explain it and changing the age. So if you ask to explain it as a kid of 6 years old, it will be way more easy jargon than an adult of 25. The funny thing is, how I'm using this also is, sometimes we know stuff, and we write it, we say it in our own professional worlds. I am working, as I said, with people with the learning disabilities, with the cognitive disability. So you can say that these are adults, but still with the brain of, let's say, the age of 5 to 6 years old. As an example, there is a wide range of ages, but sometimes you do not find the right words how to explain it. If you then ask it to explain something in very easy words, it maybe help also you as a coach, if you're working with those people, to find good metaphors, for example, to explain a situation. So we are going to Copilot in the browser. I will refresh my talk, my UI, let's say not my talk. And let's say, can explain the Pareto rule to a 6-year-old kid. So the Pareto principle or the Pareto rule, maybe for some people difficult to understand. Let's say, how can you explain it? So always imagine you have a big box of toys. The Pareto rule, also known as the 80-20 rule, is like saying that 20% of your toys are your absolute favorites, and you play with them 80% of the time. So even though you have lots of toys, you spend most of your time with the very few special ones. So, but also, if you do not understand something, a lot of people, we are living in the age, and I'm not saying it's a good thing, but we are living in the age that a lot of people are judging. You are asking stupid questions, and you should know this. If you can ask it to things like Copilot, to like AI, as I said, I'm not saying it's a good thing that our society moved that way, but it's already there. Now we can embrace it for looking less stupid. There's something preventing something, and something, if it's there, how are we going to live with it? So I want an example for foods. I want an example for foods. It knows the context. It should apply the Pareto principle on food. So sure, let's think about your food you eat. The Pareto rule said, so 20% of the food you eat all the time. For example, if you have a lot of different foods at home, you might find that you eat pizza, ice cream, and chicken nuggets most often, even though you have many other foods. Like these 3 are the ones you enjoy to eat the most. So, easy to understand. The Pareto principle. But also in IT. Yesterday, to be honest, I saw an amazing talk. And no, we are not talking about people with learning disabilities. I'm just saying, as a person with autism, everything, learning and understanding takes energy. I'm very honest about it. And yesterday, I was in a talk about design. It was an amazing talk about design, and they told me about the Higgs law. So let's say, explain me Higgs law. What I did is always refreshing the browser, because it's cleared right now. It's nothing to do with Pareto anymore. Apply this to music interface. Time for a new for okay. So do you see how the content is changing? First you ask it, it will be more scientifical. It will be, to be honest, that's scientific formulas for a lot of people. But now I say, make it for beginners and do it in the context of user interface design. So simplify choices, limit options, prioritize actions, organize information, logical grouping, clear labels. Can you look it up online? Yes. Can I just do a Google research? Yes. But what you will see often is you will see the advices, but maybe not always understand the whole thinking behind it, of course, for a lot of people. Here you have a summary and a big explanation why. No, I don't know if it's possible, to be honest. I'm going to try something. Explain to a 6. It can go wrong, I know, but I sacrificed the demagogues yesterday for the demagogues in the context of toys. All right. Imagine you have a big box of toys. If you only have a few toys in the box and only take out a few, this way it's quicker to choose which one to play with. Oh yeah. It's also something, as I said, now I remember, it is used for autism coaching. So if they coach caregivers for people with autism, these are things that they use. So for me, that's interesting. So you learn at the conference about the Higgs law and UX design, and then you're seeing that the same things they are doing in coaching people with autism. I love it. That's what they are doing. Group similar, yeah, grouping, of course, show only what you need. So here, what you're doing here is really finding good metaphors. But we can also ask, when is this law? When is it invented? 1950s by William Edmund Hick. And now I will ask, give me So you can also go then again faster. So you really can go from very, very simplistic information, how to do it, how to understand the concept, but also go deeper into it, all in the same way of working. So I love this, to be honest. And you can do it everywhere. As I said, just yesterday I heard the term and I will be demoing it. But you can also do it for history, everything. So money, let's talk about money, because that's what we need to talk about in life. But money is a concept who is still difficult for lots of people. Like people with, not sometimes, a lot of people with a learning disability, so a cognitive disability, cannot really understand or have a tangibility effect of the money. So what can we do? And if we are moving more and more to digital money, it's a very petty choice because that will exclude people who don't understand the money concept very well. So what can we do? We can see money, counting money, but even at this time, those whack things like Bing, Copilot, can even count and do math and do the exchange rates, asking for prices in specific regions, and it can be without exchange, with or without exchange conversion. So we can compare things. So here I'm going to ask, I'm going to refresh again. And I can ask, I am in London. The Westminster area. Sure. show me some burger restaurants. So I want to see some burger restaurants. Show me prices. So nearest to the Queen Elizabeth II Center, prices 500, okay. The burgers will be, oh yeah, honest burger, I want a bacon burger. Give me the price of the bacon burger in, because I still count in euros. So for less than 20 euro, I will have a burger. And it shows the resources. Like Scott said yesterday, there are always resources where it's coming from. If you're not using just ChatGPT, but really the WAC system of AI, you can do the fact checks. So I can prepare, I can count, so I can compare products and understand the difference. But I can also say, let's going more like thinking assistants. Can I eat for three lunches? What can I eat? Can I eat for the same So can it compare me? So a burger, let's say in euro, less than 20 euros. Can I make other choices? Maybe I'm on a tight budget for 3 days and maybe it will be cheaper. Most dishes are under 10 euros for wok kai. Yeah, I can combine. So I have 20 euros. Let's say about, yeah. So well, I need to count a little bit, but it gives me some ideas. It directs me in the way of thinking. So, can I use GenAI just to augment daily life? We are on the food today. Because we are now talking about a cooking assistant, asking for easy to understand recipes, allergies, intolerances, combining ingredients, step-by-step plans, grocery store handles. This thing, and I can say it, I'm allowed to say it, I am working at Ithaca, the place that I said, with a small group of people there, of their clients, trying to let them use that kind of stuff. On the sort, I'm not saying Bington, but that kind of way to understand things like easy to make recipes. Together with the coach, we are still in and also me as an IT expert, being very close collaboration, but really seeing how to impact. So this talk, can it help disability inclusion? There's not a fantasy stuff. We are working on this and looking, and it's surprising what it all can do. So let's say, and I can make grocery handles. So we are refreshing again. Give me the recipe for a sunny side. So easy steps. So even it's saying you need to heat the pan, you need to have a non-stick pan. So really step by step. You can ask this. Not a lot of cookbooks are doing this. It's such lots of steps. But for some people, that is really needed. So you can ask further on this or even maybe take a picture of an existing recipe and ask to make it easier for you. Here you see I need salt, pepper, butter, oil, and eggs. I will say, I will make it difficult, of course. Give me a grocery store list for this, but I have a salt. Plot this in a table with a additional. Okay, I can copy that, paste in Excel, and print this. No, it's easy. We're just talking about eggs, and I already have pepper and salt. But for more complex recipes with more ingredients, like, say, a good burger or a healthy burger, we can do all this stuff. We can also ask, how many eggs are in a boom, we have the answer. So we can also replace. So yeah, I don't have time to do all my demos, but let's say, oh, I can't do this. I just need to work faster. Give me. Let's go. Are the people loving Italian food? Yeah. Give me a recipe. For spaghetti. Make it easy to understand. So first it will give me a classic, easy to understand recipe for spaghetti bolognese. So this is with meat, of course, normally. It should be the beef. Make it vegetarian. Vegetarian. I am. Why not? Wanting pasta and saying that you are gluten intolerant. It's not mentioned to be. But that's crazy. If you really look, there is, first of all, no meat. There are more spices to make it spicy. And it said gluten-free spaghetti that exists. But now we are making jokes with this. We are showing demos with those wagging about food. But do you really know how many people wanting to make something, having some intolerances, and not understanding or knowing how to change stuff? It does all the things. And as I said, accessibility or disability as a spectrum, also for somebody never needed to cook gluten-free, being just a person, average age, never just need to do this, but need to start to doing this. All the way of thinking and researching, just use AI. Why make it difficult if you can make it easy? Exercising, start to make exercises. Ask for variation on exercises. It does it all for you. Household planning. Teams, for a lot of people at autism, teams are very important. Make them, use them. Make priorities. So I will do it for the weekend. This weekend. I'm free with my girlfriend, make a plan to do No, and I can also do that for other people and sell myself as a traceable agent after I fact-check the stuff. But having IDs is lovely. So these are all things that the local restaurant, okay. The promenade, I know, the Leopold Park, the Mercator is very important. Okay. What will this cost me? I made a typo, I say 2 person instead of people. It's smart. So AI does 2 things. It understands, it's, like I said, person, it understands and it is people. But what it also does, next to understanding, it's not nagging to me. You say the wrong word. How many people are so very language correct, very too language correct, and they want to correct you? It won't correct me. It is just doing what it needs to do, giving me the prices. Awesome. It will be expensive. I don't think we are going to do that one. But just saying that we can do this. Sunday, I need to, it's not true to be honest. 4 hours and cook. Make me a tape. So Sunday I need to clean for 4 hours and cook something. Make me a day plan to have also free time. So I don't think I will wake up at 8 a.m. on Sunday. But breakfast and relaxation. Cleaning session 1 is 2 hours. Break and snack. Cleaning session 2, lunch and relaxation, cooking. Free time, dinner, and evening relaxation. This helps people with autism. It's awesome. I think for people not on the spectrum, it is maybe nuggets, but this is something that people are waiting for. People are going to coaches and therapists just also for that thing. While there are also very more severe things in life, but they even spend time on that. If they can do GenAI for that kind of stuff already, all that assistance, and then can use the coaches and therapists for the more severe things like darker thoughts, by example, it's crazy. But also professional and societal life, it can help us. So, as I also said, I'm also on the autism spectrum. Maybe tomorrow, tonight, in fact, is Dylan Beat and the Lightbreakers, and before that, it is a cocktail party. Okay, but I want to know how I make it very professional. Okay, but I need to do a warm greeting, and I need to engage in small talk. Do you know how hard it is as a person with autism? Okay, give me a step lunch. I'm bad at small talk. Okay, easy peasy. It can give me a draft. Do you know how many people on the spectrum are using things like role-playing to learn those attitudes? It can give role plays for free. Also, my work, planning and organization. I will not give this demo because I did it in free time. I show it here in slides because I want to have some time for another demo later on this talk. But again, it is all the same as I did for my weekend. It can also do it in a professional life. As I said, I will skip this demo for the sake of time because I want to give a nice demo about GenAI for supporting professionals. The reason I want to give that demo and this talk because I had a funny conversation about alternative text, and it's also included here. But let's start with imaging. We are not starting with the alternative text because we need to start everywhere. So, imaging. It can make images. I know Scott yesterday said Scott Hanselman didn't like image generation. Scott Hunter played with it. To be honest, sometimes imaging is really good and important, and I love it. By example, I'm giving talks also in Belgium about mental health. And I, unfortunately, in the past, I've been to a traumatic experience. But I want to talk about this also, to help people to how to live with that. I cannot, and I don't want to, and I shouldn't, go back to that place. Oh my God, I'm not crazy. But I can generate specific stuff that happened there to make it tangible, because tangibility is a of the key aspects for understanding. So I can generate some images of something that I can go to. And I also cannot ask a photographer to, for example, take pictures in the place where my trauma happened. That's not possible. But you can do some concepts. But also, let's say, in this demo that we are going to do, we are going to be making a flyer for a night about AI, artificial intelligence. Maybe you know what this is. But then you can even generate an alternative text for that. And you can also ask for the artificial intelligence night, for example, make it inclusive, that there's a variety of people feel welcome in the talk. It can generate then, after the picture, the alternative text. And even, there's still not excuse for not having the alternative text, because maybe you as an organization are having a Wix or a WordPress website, and you don't know how to do this, but again, just ask it how to do this. Step by step, because people will not need to call to the support desk just to add an alternative text because they don't want to do this. But even you can ask, I did experiments, if there is enough color contrast in your images or your headers, if you paste it. I made again a typo, I make them in caps, my typo, just to emphasize that it's okay to make typos in LLMs. Or in WAG, it's not the same as in a forum that they will punch you just for the typo. No, it's very, very compassionate. And it will do what you want without the BS, like punching you for your typos. Yeah, make typos. It's not okay. Just to make it easy, do this again. It's not in this demo, but there is a tool doing it really well with text. If you are doing the same thing in Microsoft Designer, it works. What does it do? It works it's automatically, and I think it is really coded, so not AI. It strips down the text of your prompt, it makes an image, and it pastes it on it again. Amazing. Okay. So I have a, okay. No, I'm going to ask. I want to ask to have an alt text, an inclusive AI event banner featuring diverse individuals collaborating and interacting with AI technology. The design emphasizes unity, innovation, and accessibility with vibrant colors and dynamic elements representing the integration of AI in various aspects of life. It's true. I'm not getting money for this. And I don't know if it will work. Oh, I close it. Then you press the wrong thing. Oh, I can go back again. Of course, it has memory. Amazing. Yeah, it works with component. I saw it at the boot. So again, to be honest, I really love how it's make it easier. Yeah, so today you saw me talking about disability inclusion. And I show how GenAI can help at reading, writing, understanding, but also in professional life and societal life. And I also taught how we can use GenAI as caring or surrounding professionals with and for people with disabilities. I have time to thank you and answer some questions. Thank you. Questions? Yep.
So on the subject of the alt text, you gave quite a bit of context to the LLM when it produced that. What would happen if you just uploaded that document and asked the same question of it? Because you wouldn't have provided as much context of it. So
It is the same, and the most things is the same, but unfortunately, those AI, and that was my first demo, but unfortunately, those technology is moving and evolving very fast. And what I did for my first demos, already for trying these ideas, was generating the image and then asking, downloading it, and then as a picture, like a PNG, and then having a whole new conversation with GenAI, uploading it, and asking for the alternative text. It was exactly the same. The only reason why I didn't do it for this demo and I needed to find a workaround is, unfortunately, at this time, it has difficulties with PNG, with receiving content from PNG and JPEG. It doesn't see it at this time. Maybe it's a bug, but if it comes back, it is exactly the same. But no, as I said, I already did some sacrifices for the demo gods. But it's easier just for that reason, because uploading images at this time is challenging. But it is exactly the same. Thank you.
So you talked about using GenAI for people with intellectual disabilities.
Yep.
I'm going to bring up hallucinations. So I'm guessing in the case of sort of explaining things, you may need to screen the information that comes out of the LLM to tell things that are true versus hallucinations, because they may not have the capacity to tell that apart. Is that sort of the way you'd recommend using it?
That's also what I said. We are doing at this time in the Center Ithaca some experiment with those people. What I see, if you're using a WAG system like Bing Copilot, I didn't see really hallucinations. I shouldn't do it in the open, just on a ChatGPT. Beside of that, ChatGPT you can use for free. If you really ask very stuff that is really well known, by example, the Pareto rule, and explain it to a 6-year-old, he does it also very, very well. I shouldn't advise at this time to spreading it for those people that don't any surrounding people. So I would advise, if you want to play with those tools with people like learning disabilities, you should also have a coach or a caregiver really understanding the stuff, and also there's a conversation loop. So, yeah. So first, ranking systems are the hallucinations for, let's say, normal questions, and translating to difficult answers are very, very low. And even for other things, if we really ask concrete things, it's quite okay, but don't do it without having conversation with an AI or at least IT knowledgeable professional surrounding that person. Questions? Thank you all for coming.